What would the ultimate NFC South team look like? What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, back with another NFL all-division team. And in this video, I'm giving you my all-division, all-star NFC South squad for 2023. That means an offense, a defense, special teams, even a coaching staff for the NFC South. The Saints, the Panthers, the Falcons, and yes, the Buccaneers, the ultimate NFC South squad. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Gronk! Spike the like button, and let's go. Kicking off the NFC South squad at the quarterback position, this is certainly the worst quarterback position in the NFL for a division. I think the quarterback that stands out here as the guy that has had the best career, the most consistent production, is Derek Carr. And Derek Carr, correct me if I'm wrong, has never won a playoff game. So that just speaks to the success that this division at the quarterback position does not have. I would argue the second best quarterback in this division is a rookie. So Derek Carr is kind of the choice by default. If he plays like Derek Carr of last year, you're going to be disappointed. Bryce Young might actually be a better choice. But if he plays like Derek Carr of 2021, you have a sleeper pick. A guy that can really win some games for you in the fourth quarter. It's just tricky to figure out which one you're going to get for the Saints in 2023. At the running back position, I know, he's never played a snap. He's never played a game. Do I look like I care? Bijan Robinson is the pick. And there's no debate. Bijan Robinson, I believe, is a generational running back. A guy that has the power, the feet, the quickness, the elusiveness to be an incredible ball carrier. But not only a ball carrier, a receiver. He is a playmaker. He is a complete running back in this day and age. I think he's going to make an immediate impact for the Atlanta Falcons. He is the choice to lead the backfield for Team NFC South. The backup running back, yeah, Saints fans are going to be a little bit mispleased with me, but I'm going Alvin Kamara as the backup and not the starter. First of all, he's suspended 3 games. That's first of all. Second of all, he has not played his best ball the last couple of years. He certainly has not been the same guy since they made him the focal point of the offense in terms of running the ball, right? The best Alvin Kamara always had a backfield mate to help him, to take touches and runs and short yardage and red zone work away from him so that he could focus on being explosive, elusive, and great as a receiver. So I like him more in this change of pace role, a third down back role, so to speak. A scat back role where he is more utilized as that change of pace explosive player. My question is, can he still be that game changer? That is the ultimate question entering 2023. At the wide receiver position, wide receiver 1, I'm also taking a New Orleans Saint. I believe after just 1 year, Chris Olave is the best receiver and most talented in their prime, entering their peak wide receiver in this division. Now, there's going to be a lot of Bucs fans that are not happy about that, but I think that's the case. I think Chris Olave is the most talented guy at this point in time. Not 3 years ago, not 2 years ago, not 7 years ago. That would be Mike Evans. Maybe even Chris Godwin a couple of years back. But I've got to go with Chris Olave as wide receiver 1. He is so smooth in his routes. He's very explosive. He can get downfield and burn a defense. Chris Olave could be a very special player, and I have to admit I was a little wrong about him entering the NFL. Wide receiver 2, this is where I have to go Mike Evans. Mike Evans may not be the separator that he once was, even at his size. That's what made Mike Evans so special. He could run. He could still run routes. He could still get open, even though he was a great contested target guy. I believe he's still very good. I just don't think he's elite any longer, because he's more of that, okay, throw the ball up, even if I'm not open, I'll try to make a play type of guy. But he's not going to separate necessarily. He will separate at the catch point. So Mike Evans, because of his success, his accomplishment, and his consistency, he's wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 3, I'm going Chris Godwin. I think Chris Godwin still gets the edge over Drake London for me. Chris Godwin is a very good football player. At his peak, he might be the best receiver in this division. His ability to break tackles, make yards after catch, make the tough, important catches in a game, converting third downs, being a chain mover, being great in the screen game, moving around and being a great blocker. All the little things he does, he's excellent at. He is a team guy. Love Chris Godwin. He is wide receiver 3 in the slot. At the tight end position, you gotta go Kyle Pitts, even though he didn't have his best season last year, and even though you could argue he's more of a receiver than a pure tight end. Kyle Pitts is so athletically gifted. I think with a better quarterback, he would put up better numbers, and I'm hoping that with a guy like Derek Carr on this team, he could really showcase his ability. The rare thing about Pitts is the way he can change direction, run routes as a big man, but it looks like a much smaller man doing the things that he does on the field. And then you can line him up out wide and he can play like a Mike Evans. So that's why I love him at the tight end position. Entering the offensive line at left tackle, I'm going with Ekwonu here. This is maybe a bold choice, but I didn't really see one. Maybe Matthews of the Atlanta Falcons. He's been very consistent. But Ekwonu, I think, has the upside moving forward. Now, he was not better than Matthews as a rookie, but I'm looking forward to the sophomore campaign of Ekwonu, and I think Icky will make a name for himself here. I think he's going to really surprise the NFL. I think the Panthers offensive line in general will be the engine to this team's success, and I think Ekwonu is a big reason why. At the left guard position, I'm taking Austin Corbett, also of the Carolina Panthers. This was the weakest offensive line spot in the NFC South, if I'm being honest with you. Austin Corbett, though, the last couple of years, even in LA, dating back to his days there, he was very good. Whenever he's on the field and healthy, he's been a top 20, 25 guard in the NFL. I think that's good enough to start at left guard for Team NFC South. Very good run blocker. And I think at times last year, an excellent pass blocker. That should really help Bryce Young secure that middle of the pocket in Carolina. At the center position, I got to go with the guy coming back from injury. He is an absolute beast. He will hurt you. His name is Ryan Jensen. He plays with power. He plays with toughness. He plays with grit that you have to love at the center position. He opens up lanes in the running game. He's a powerhouse, and the Bucs really missed this guy when he was out in their running game. Ryan Jensen at center. At right guard, I'm going with arguably the best right guard in the NFL, and he still doesn't get a lot of credit, Chris Lindstrom of the Atlanta Falcons. It's kind of funny. I only have one Atlanta Falcon offensive lineman on my offensive line for Team NFC South, but they have like the second or third best offensive line in football. But Lindstrom is clearly the most elite of the bunch. His well-rounded game has really matured as of late, and I think that's going to really show itself when Bijan Robinson gets there and starts running the rock for the Atlanta Falcons. Now people are going to open their eyes and be like, whoa, Atlanta's offensive line is really that good. At the right tackle position, I know that he's trying to switch to left this year, but I'm still going with Tristan Wirfs at the right. We've seen him play as arguably the best right tackle in football the last couple of years at that right tackle position. He's like the most natural young tackle I've seen in years. He reminds me of that Jonathan Ogden, Walter Jones type of guy where he just steps into the NFL and it's just immediate. Just he is that good. Like, it's just Tristan Wirfs is that dude. He's a future Hall of Famer if he keeps it up. Like, he's that type of talent. I know that it's been a very short career so far, but he really possesses that type of power, quickness, technique. He's a really good kid. He's a guy that's just growing as a player, and now they're going to move him to the left. It speaks to his versatility, his passion for the game, his work ethic, all of it. That is the NFC South offense. Team NFC South defensively, it all begins on the edge with Brian Burns of the Carolina Panthers. Brian Burns is easily the best pass rusher in this division. It's his time to shine. He's a one-man wrecking crew on the edge of the defense of the Carolina Panthers, and I expect the best Brian Burns we've ever seen. I think this could be the season that we see him become an all-pro caliber pass rusher. He's been a Pro Bowl level guy, a really good guy. Can he be a great guy? That's the only question, but man, this guy's good. Love the bend, love the quickness, love the pass rushing skill set. He has it all. Cameron Jordan is going to be the opposite edge player. A guy that's well-rounded, can play on all three downs, can play inside or outside, can stop the run, can set the edge, can do all the little things and also lead the defense. Cameron Jordan isn't the pass rusher that he used to be, but he is a very well-rounded player, and I'll take him as the second edge player in this division. The interior duo is two just powerful, strong dudes. The first one is Vita Vea. Vita Vea is a special specimen. The guy can move like a much smaller man, and he is absolutely massive. He is a fridge, a house in the middle of a defense. He's so freakish that he can drop back into coverage in Todd Bowles' weird blitz zone schemes, and he will bull rush you to the quarterback. Last year, in fact, when he was healthy, he was one of the most effective pass rushers in football from the interior. The second defensive lineman in the division is going to be Derek Brown of the Carolina Panthers. Not the most well-rounded guy. Like, he's a better run defender than a pass rusher. I think his numbers from a pass rushing standpoint are not as good as his actual impact on the game, utilizing his power, utilizing his bull rush. But his run defense really is what gets me, and I think forming that duo in the middle, along with having Cameron Jordan on the edge, it's going to loosen up Brian Burns, but it's also going to make them very steady against the run, especially on the first two downs. At the linebacker position, one of the best duos in any division. Two vets, two guys that have seen it all, every offense, every scheme, every quarterback. First, we've got Lavonte David of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A guy that's quick, fast, athletic, can cover man or zone. And I think he's still got enough athleticism to shoot the gaps, make the plays against the run, and he still showcases athleticism to move sideline to sideline. Very, very, very smart player and well respected. The second linebacker is one that can really work off of Lavonte David's quickness and athleticism with power and size. That's Demario Davis of the New Orleans Saints. Now, Davis is a deceptive coverage player because of his length and his size and his ability to be smart and read the quarterback. But he's an excellent blitzer and a very good run defender because of his size and his underrated athleticism for that size. So Davis and David are going to be a dominant duo in the middle, and I feel like they've been the two best linebackers in this division for a while now. At the safety position, I'm going with first my free safety, Jesse Bates of the Atlanta Falcons, the newcomer. Jesse Bates is probably the rangiest safety in football, which is why he got paid the contract he got paid. When you're as gifted as Jesse Bates in terms of reading the quarterback's eyes, knowing where he's going to throw the football, and reacting in a split second the way Jesse Bates is to break up a pass, to make a play, to make a big hit, you get paid a lot of money. And that's what Bates does really well. He covers up holes deep in the secondary. Another guy that would complement him perfectly is Antoine Winfield Jr. Winfield can cover man-to-man against slot receivers and play nickel. He can blitz at that nickel spot. He can play the run, and he's a very rangy guy despite his kind of limitation in height. He can actually leap, catch interceptions over people, do some crazy stuff as an athlete. And he's a very well-rounded playmaker that perfectly suits a guy like Jesse Bates, who's going to play the deep level of the field. Winfield's better in the intermediate and short areas of an offense. At the cornerback position, the number 1 corner on this team, I think I'm going to take Marshon Lattimore. There's actually a lot of good corners in this division. There really is. Marshon Lattimore, I think, has been the best for the longest, and I think he deserves to get that number 1 spot. He's locked down a lot of really good receivers. He's very good in man coverage. He's very aggressive. He's very feisty. He can get in your face. He can be aggressive. I love his style. So I'm going to take Marshon Lattimore as my first lockdown corner. That second cornerback is going to be a guy that plays a very similar style. Maybe not as in your face or as aggressive, but man, this guy's physical. He's strong. Both of these guys can press you at the line and knock you off routes. J.C. Horn is really good at getting his hands on you and bumping you off your route and disjointing you and making you have a second reaction. He's really good at disrupting timing, which is maybe the biggest job and biggest responsibility when a corner is playing man coverage. Disrupt that timing. Make the quarterback have to hold the ball a bit longer for Brian Burns to get there. J.C. Horn does that at a very high level. The nickelback. This one was tough because I could have went with a corner, but I decided to go with the safety, and this is odd for me, but I'm going to take Tyrann Mathieu. He did play a lot in the nickel position last year, and he was actually one of the highest rated nickel defenders last season when he got a chance to play there for New Orleans. He's also played there before for teams like Arizona and Kansas City. He's very good around the ball. He's a great playmaker. He has a great sense for playmaking, for interceptions, for fumbles, for even blitzing. He's just a football player, and that's why I put him closer to the line of scrimmage at that nickel spot, but it's up for debate on if you want to go in a different direction. You could honestly switch Mathieu and Winfield if you wanted to. That's kind of why I went with Mathieu, but you could also bring in Bradley Roby of the Saints. You could maybe put Carlton Davis or Jamel Dean at one of these corner spots. So there's a lot you could do here, but I'm going to take Tyrann Mathieu for his leadership, his legitimacy across his career, playing in different schemes and succeeding. And last year, he was actually the highest graded coverage player at the safety position. So Tyrann Mathieu is going to play the nickel spot. That is your defense for Team NFC South. Let's make it simple for the special teams and the coaching staff. I'm taking Carolina. That's right. I'm taking Carolina's head coach, Frank Reich. I'm taking Carolina's defensive coordinator, Evero. I'm taking Carolina's partner on offense with Frank Reich. That's Thomas Brown. And then I'm taking Johnny Hekker at punter, Panero at kicker, 33 for 35 last year. The only thing I'm changing is I'll take Cordero Patterson at kick returner. That's it. Everybody else, I want from the Carolina Panthers. That is Team NFC South. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, Gronk spike the like button. We will see you in the next one. Peace.